Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing awesome. So in this video, we are going to start the conversation about radical equation. We're going to check how the equations looks like and what are the ways or strategies we can use to solve it. So the first question is, what is radical equation? Why do we call radical equation? So radical equation has a very clear feature here, which is you can see we have a square root symbol around it. So that's why you call radical equation. Sometimes you probably even see square root, like a cubic root or fourth root of this and all this kind of thing. We can just generalize this as radical equation. But today in this video, we are just discussing how do we solve equation with a square root symbol. So the question is, how do we solve it? That's going to be our big focus today. So before that, let's quickly check the regular linear equation we use to solve. So you do remember when we solve this kind of equation, we always use inverse operation like what we do here, and the final goal is to get the variables by itself, right? By divided by 2 here. So then we can solve it. That's how we get the answer. So similarly, in this one, we actually use the same goal. We need to focus on the square root symbol, and we need to isolate the square symbol part by using the inverse operations. How do we do that? Some students probably already figured out. We're going to -1 for both sides. And then now I have square root isolated by itself, right? So next thing is, how do I get rid of this square root symbol so I can move on, like solve like a regular equation? So how do we do this? So now we are going to use the inverse operation. Like we used to do this whenever we use, whenever we need to isolate items here, we need to use inverse operation. Then question is, what is inverse operation of this one? So some students probably already figure out, yes, you are correct. We need to square it. So again, but just want to remind you, whenever we do something on one side of the equation, we need to repeat the same thing so you can keep the balance of the equation. So since we squared it, the equation now, the square root symbol is gone. So I just write down whatever inside of square root now, and the other side is 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. So now we just solve like a regular equation. And finally, we need to get x by itself, so x equals 5. And that's it. That's how we solve it. But do not forget, it's always a good habit to check your answer. So how do we check it? We are going to plug the solution here in equation. So now x becomes 5. I just do 2 times 5 minus 1. I just replace x as 5. Then plus 1, let's check, is that really equal 4? So 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 1 is square root of 9. Let's just copy down here. And square root of 9, which is 3, so 3 plus 1 is 4, is actually correct. So we are right. We finished this equation. And again, the major steps here is first, we need to isolate the square root, and then we need to get rid of the square root symbol by square the both sides of this. Okay, so that's the first example. In the following video, we are going to practice more examples so you can totally master this type of topic. Okay, see you soon, everyone.